A proper headset. Next, you'll be wanting a proper microphone. Soon, we'll just actually sound like a proper podcast. It'll be terrifying.
I mean, right now we're 2/3 of a proper podcast because you and I have decent equipment.
That's
It's just
true.
Ian, the one that sounds
That's
like
true.
he's in a bathroom under a Coke can.
And you know what? I've heard worse. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages, welcome back to the On the Button podcast. It's episode 10. We made it to double digits, guys. I'm not sure how I feel.
That's like 20 weeks, dude. We're rapidly approaching half a year of doing this.
That feels weird, man. That feels weird.
Does anybody listen to this?
I mean, we get a few listeners, a few people. It's, whatever.
Mostly just.
I mean, I don't care. I'm just sitting here with some buddies talking. Swoo! I'm fine with me.
I could just talk for the hell of talking. I don't need a reason. Like,
there you go.
I would say when
reason to get together
at the Aegis pre-release, I probably talked to everybody I talked to listened. So at least we're local. We're local stage right now. We're starting local celebrity status.
We're slowly taking over the Houston area, is what I'm hearing. Okay,
yeah.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Good to know. Well, welcome in, fellas. Now, you guys we'll talk about this later in the podcast. You guys have had a busy last couple of weeks. It's been pretty slow on my end, but we all got the chance to play with the new shenanigans, the new stuff last weekend. Various pre-releases going on.
Yeah.
Ian, which one, how many did you manage to make it to, and how did you do? What did you play and all that mess?
Well, as always, I did terrible. I either do really great or terrible. I did really terrible. I played in 3.
You made it to Dragon's Lair on Thursday night.
Yeah, and then I did Aegis.
Yes.
And then another Dragon's Lair.
Oh, right, the one, we just did.
Yeah, the one you showed up late for.
Yeah, the second. Was it late?
Well, we were all building, and nobody knew you were coming, and so then you showed up, and you're like, "Can I play?" And we're like, "Yes, we need more people."
But I showed up with one other person, so everything was fine.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm just, referring to the one that you were there after we'd already started.
Whatever. So what did you play, Ian? Talk to me for your leader choices and everything.
So the first DL I played Qui-Gon.
Oh yeah,
terrible. Really
I remember
terrible.
that. You and I both played Qui-Gon.
I won one. Yeah, I won one game.
That was a mistake.
But it did help me
the game you played me.
Yeah. It was very unforgettable. It was fun. And then I played Talzin at Aegis.
Okay.
And I did really well with that. I lost my first game because I had like 4 large units and I resourced 2 of them early.
And
then just couldn't draw them at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, I needed them to close out. I had like a Sidious and a Vader I could have drawn to close out, but I just never got them. So I did have a lot of fun with Talzin. I think she's pretty decent in that format, pre-release format.
Yep.
But I think she'll be even better in draft if people let you draft the cards.
Okay.
So I'm interested in maybe trying to hopefully playing her in draft.
Okay.
And then last night was the first time I opened a pre-release box and just went dumbfounded. I could not figure out what to do. I pulled 2 Kylos, an Ahsoka, a Talzin, Third Sister, and Cal Kestis.
That's a lot of blue.
Were my leader choices.
You pulled 3 of that 2-drop that gives you the Force instantly.
Yeah, I had already played a bunch of the yellow cards, so I wanted to try. I really wanted to play some green and red cards in the set that I hadn't played, so I put together a Third Sister deck that was so bad I went 0-3 and got a free pack out of sympathy from Jason because he just felt bad for me.
I remember the pity pack.
But I'll take a pity pack. I'm not gonna lie. It did not go well. It did not go well at all.
You had fun. You didn't win a lot.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I would say the decks that I saw that were most dominant that really crushed me were Kenobi. A good Kenobi red or a good just Kenobi yellow deck seemed to run right over me and was very unfun.
He's the Anakin of this set, in my mind.
Who?
Yeah, he
Obi?
might be.
Obi.
Yeah, Obi.
He real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he real good. And then I saw a couple of really good. Oh man, what were they? Who's the other red villain? Oh, Maul. Somebody had a really good Maul deck that was pretty interesting.
I saw some
That
people have some success with Maul. It's a shame he's not
yeah,
going to be available in draft when it comes time to draft this set, but it is
yeah.
interesting to see him do something in this.
Um, because like you're playing a lot of like larger units this time. Like this set has some really great 2 and 3 drops. Like really great 2 and 3 drops. And you're playing some of those bigger, like you're playing a 2/4 drop on turn 1, and the pinging got kind of annoying. It only backfired on him, I think, once. Like he had to ping his own unit once, I think. So that's not too terrible.
Mm-mm.
But overall, I thought Obi kind of like dominated it. Like I just always got run over by Obi.
Yeah, Obi and Snoke seems to be the other one that seems to run people over.
Oh, really?
Never pulled
I
a-
haven't played against a single Snoke yet.
I didn't pull a single Snoke, so I have no idea.
I played him once, and then I know at least one local player won one of the local events with a Snoke, and like he was getting some love. He's not as good as Obi, right? But if you can pull enough villain units to put in the deck with him, he can be really, really good. He also buffs himself, which is nice. So if you flip it over and he's the only villain unit you have, he just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and harder to kill.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that Obi can't do, which is actually kind of neat. Trey, what about you? Where did you end up? How many did you do? What'd you all play? What all did you play?
He freaking Trey crushed, man. He crushed.
I am on a little bit of a hot streak now. We played that Twin Suns tournament that I won 5-0 in, and then I played in 3 pre-releases and went 3-0, 3-1, and 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
And the only loss that I had was because the shop owner randomly said, "Let's do best of 3," and I won the first one and then lost the next 2. So I'm doing pretty well. Of course, that was the one that losing anything meant I missed out on the box of cards. So everything else was just kind of let's show up and play and have fun.
So what?
So the first one was All right. So in the first one, it was the Dragon Slayer one on the first Thursday night that we did it. I played Obi Red. I had an option to do Avar Chris or Obi, and I decided to go with Obi. I really wanted to play something else. I didn't feel like I had like an overwhelmingly powerful blue, or I didn't like my yellow at all, but I was thinking about playing blue with green, but in the end, it's just red and green are just so easy to because it's easy to throw down something big and punch you in the face with it. When instead of trying to build something that I have to draw the cards in the right order, or I have to like really think about my plays and make sure I get this guy out. It's just red green. I was always like the default build, so I was hoping to build something else, but that's all I had the red green cards. I played them and I went 3-0. Interesting. So there's one of the things that I noticed, which we'll get to, maybe we'll get to later. There were a lot of new people there at that one, and this was the first time I think I've ever been referred to by someone as the end boss in the tournament. Like apparently I'm the guy you have to go through to win the tournament. So the second one, so you guys were playing in the Aegis one on a Saturday.
Yes.
That one filled up immediately. So there's a new shop near me called Legendary Cardboard in Atascocita. And they were trying to get the group going there on Thursday nights, but it's slow going because there just aren't as many people in this part of town that play cards like this. And if they do, they play Pokemon for some reason. There's always the Magic people. But I had one here. I got a hold of some starter kits, so I had a Twin Suns one at my house on Saturday. That was the plan. At the same time, he was doing Huli was doing the Aegis one. But I did that because I wanted to create Northeast Houston swing where you could go to one in the afternoon and then immediately turn around and go to another one in the afternoon. So that Legendary people weren't just driving 45 minutes or an hour to play at Legendary and then go home. So I went to Legendary at 2:00 on Saturday, and I had my villain this time, and I started with Morgan Elspeth in red, and then I realized that I read her wrong and I was just outright cheating with her for a little bit, and then went, "Oh crap," and stopped playing it, and then immediately switched over to, instead of playing Morgan, because I read it as trait and not keyword ability.
You made like the same mistake that Anthony did. We had this conversation with Anthony on Tuesday night. He thought she was the same thing. He thought she worked off of traits.
Right. Yeah, I did the same thing. Now, this is tooting my own horn, but to my credit, I saw that and then just never tried it again. Like I was like, which is obviously what I should do. Like I just stopped mid game. My plan was to play it, and then I went, wait, that's just keyword, not trait.
I'm illegal.
Crap. Everything I'm doing is illegal. So then I just fumbled around for that game and ended up losing that game. And then so I immediately switched over to playing Maul and Green, and then I finished out and did pretty well in that one with Maul, with the same deck, but with Maul and Green. Just not vomiting things out as super fast as possible. So then after that, we played some Twin Suns, which was a lot of fun with Twin Suns Limited. It was interesting. I actually didn't win either of those games. Ended up playing only 2 games because it was kind of late. But I didn't end up playing either of those games because it's just wide open. But I don't really count that one as a win because I didn't really have anything on the line. So I was just kind of dicking around and having a good time and trying out new combos. And then Tuesday night we did another one at Dragon's Lair. They had some stuff left over, and I started on Qui-Gon. I wanted to play not Obi, and I was like, I built my deck, and it was going to be green, and blue or yellow, two of those 3 colors. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to go. First it was blue and something, and then I was like, I don't really like this. So I tried it. Green and yellow looked really good, and then I thought I went through my cards. And I saw this has come into play, and this has come into play, and this has come into play, and I can string all these together, and I can play all this. I'm going to play Qui-Gon. This is going to be amazing. And then I played it, and it was terrible. Qui-Gon is the worst. It just doesn't ever work. You dream up all these scenarios in your head about I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to get value by bouncing this and putting this back in play, and then I'll replay this guy, and this guy will have ambush, and then I'll smash in, I'll heal him, and by bouncing him and smash. No, it just doesn't ever work. So then I went to in that game was actually interesting because even though I had a large number of 2-drops, my first action was to claim and my second action was to claim. I didn't do anything in the first 2 rounds, and I still ended up winning that one because my opponent also got almost as bad a draw as I did.
Wow.
So I ended up pulling that one out. And then as soon as that round is over, I'm like, screw this Qui-Gon guy. We're going to play Obi Yellow. And so I immediately went with Obi Yellow and then just tore through everybody else with Obi-Wan.
Because Obi-Wan. Because Obi-Wan.
Because Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan, you get the Force and then somebody's bigger.
Obi-Wan is the Anakin of this set. If you draw one and have cards to support him and you play him, you probably win. If you don't, like I played.
It's harder.
I'm trying to think. I played 3 pre-releases, 4 technically, because I did DL, I did Aegis with so the first 2 with you, Ian, and then Sunday afternoon I went down to the Forge and played one there, and then I played Tuesday night again with you guys, right? And the only Obi-Wan I ever even saw was the very last one, and I pulled exactly 1 green hero card to go with him out of 6 packs.
Well, the regular green card, you don't really need that many hero cards to play them. Just anything works.
Yes, but here's the problem. Like when I sit down to build a deck in Sealed, the first thing I do is I sort everything, and then I count units. I don't really look at events. I count units. Now, yellow is automatically disadvantaged in this set because there are fewer units in yellow than any other color in Legends of the Force. So, when I sat down and counted my piles on Tuesday night, I had just neutral units. I had, I think, 7 blue, 9 green, 7 red, and 4 yellow. And that's about right in terms of, but then it's a question of, okay, what do I have, hero or villain, to go with it to try to fill up the rest of the deck? And with Obi-Wan, I could add exactly 1 more card in green. And I was like, well, that's great. So now I'm at 10 units. What am I going to pair him with? And then I looked at my hero. I had 2 hero red cards. So in all in, it was not great. I tried. Go ahead. I was going to say at the
I had more observations, but go ahead.
Go. Bring it on.
Okay, so some of the stuff, I think the colorless cards are more playable in this set than they have been in any other set.
There, I agree with you.
So Pelly is amazing. Pelly gets out of hand.
I discounted her until you
one
pointed her
thing
out
on
to
the
me.
table.
Yeah.
You play her first, and then you drop some 2-drop droid or 2-drop ship, and then you just start attacking with Pelly. Like you get 1 attack in with Pelly, and she's already like made your 2-drop into essentially a 3.5 drop, 3-4 drop.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's amazing. 7 resources to just kill a thing is really good and limited. I won multiple games off. I won multiple games off of,
the Flock of Porgs is fantastic.
Oh, the Curious Flock is
I never
insane.
played that one. I've seen it played, but I didn't ever make any money. The Porg is the Porg itself is pretty terrible, but the one that is if you had somebody die, give somebody 2 experience point.
That's
tokens,
a great card.
That card is nuts.
That card's
I played
really
that a
good.
lot.
Yeah.
So and then there's the Gundark, the one to 5/4 that deals a damage to a ground unit when it comes into play. To ping a shield, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of really good cards in
neutral.
The colorless, which makes you be able to play pretty much any. You can put them in any deck.
No,
that's really neat.
That's a fair point. I had never really looked at Peli until you pointed her out to me on Tuesday night, and when I read that, I went, "Oh, that's actually decent," because there's a decent number of droids in this set, and of course a handful of vehicles, and you're going to be probably putting a few space units into any little deck you build in sealed. So yeah, she's really good. I, like you guys, I learned very quickly at my first pre-release that Qui-Gon was a giant trap and a waste of time, and it was awful. So that was sad. I ended up at Aegis. I ended up playing Third Sister Yellow. Now, Aegis, for you guys that are listening and aren't local, you don't know this. I have to explain how this event works, right? One of the local store owners, he likes doing the pre-releases, but he also sets it up so that you're not just buying the pre-release kit, you're buying a box as well. And then you are building your 30-card pre-release deck out of all of that. So you have 30 packs of cards to build a 30-card deck to play what amounts to like a sealed event.
It is so broken.
It's incredibly
so
broken.
I can't describe how fun it is though. Like some of the decks you see are just insane.
It's nutty
so
broken.
It's so fun.
But I ended up going 3-0 with Third Sister, and I was down to I'm sitting on my third match, looking at my hand, trying to find a way out of this board position against Obi-Wan. Who else? And I finally find it, and I pulled 2 constructed lightsabers, and they were both in this deck. And because I'm playing Third Sister, I've got my board is Third Sister, Dooku, and I can't remember somebody else. They were all hit. Shin Hati. That's my board. And Dooku's a little beat up, and I'm looking at lethal, realizing, wait a minute, his lethal damage. If I put this constructed lightsaber on Dooku, it makes him a 7/7 Sentinel, and then I can swing. He won't be able to kill him with one shot. I'll be able to swing with him, and then I've got lethal, and he can't get back to me, and that's how I won game 3. So it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
So I got some prize stuff at Aegis, right? We split. I ended up splitting with Jeff and Jack. If you remember Jack from the Houston PQ, we were the 3-3-0 players at the end of those rounds, and it was like, all right, well, we could play one more, but everybody just wanted to go home, and it was late, and it was like, let's just get some loot. Right. So we split the box, and I got a few good things out of it. And then I went to the Forge where I played. I did play. Crap, what did I play at the Forge? Snoke. Yeah, I played Snoke there.
Did you play Snoke?
I played Snoke. I played Snoke Red, which actually wasn't bad. Thralls of the Coven is insanely good as a common card in this set.
That's the 3/7 raid?
3/7 raid 3.
Yeah, raid 3.
That card is amazing.
Yeah, that guy's amazing. 7 health is crazy good.
Yeah.
Because nobody in the set can kill him in one shot.
Yeah, it's a great. It
let
was a
me
great
tell you
card.
that there's a black 7/6 that can kill him, but
yes,
that doesn't happen very often.
But the bottom line was I also made some pretty bad deck building errors that day. I realized it after I had finished playing for the day that all of my villain red cards had never made it into the deck, and I pulled a Grand Inquisitor, which would have been nice in that deck. You know?
Oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah. So literally playing the leader that triggers off of, hey, spot a villain card and do cool things. I left a chunk of villain cards literally sitting in off to the side. I'd never put them in the deck. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm just dumb. But I think I went 1-2 or something, or 2. I think I went 2-1. Maybe I went 2-1. I don't know. Whatever. I had a good time. And then Tuesday night with you guys, I played Elsbeth. I played Morgan. Morgan Red, because that's just where the overlap was with the keywords. And in that environment,
I looked at your pool with you, and
yeah.
I looked at your pool with you. Everything you had overwhelm, or
it was restore. I had like 8 restore cards in that deck. I had between restore, raid, and hidden. I got Elsbeth to work a few times. She wasn't amazing, but I got some use out of it and went 2-1, and wasn't unhappy. It was
Nice.
it was an okay deck to play. So yeah, the biggest problem that I had, I've been talking to other people on some of the other discords. I want to know what you guys think. I really struggled to find 2-drops to put into my decks. Am I the only one that had this problem? Trey's shaking his
Didn't
head.
have a single problem with that. Nope. I didn't have any problem with that. My deck was the yellow blue deck had too many 2-drops that I played on Tuesday night. I didn't have any.
At every single
they're all good too.
At every single pre-release, I never felt like I had enough cheap stuff.
Oh, I'm sure it was just a quirk of the pools that we pulled, but I had plenty. I had all the 2-drops.
I've been talking to some other people who felt the same way. I'm actually going to sit down and do a little bit of analysis on this. I'm going to pull up some card costs and look through it. Maybe it's my imagination, but I think they're.
Were you cutting any? Were there any we're not playing? Were you just playing every single one you could?
Mostly everything that was legal, because I was at a point where I was just scrambling to get anything to have turn 1 plays in the deck, right? My general rule of thumb when I build a 30-card sealed deck is 25 units and 5 non-units. That's just kind of a rule. It's just like that seems okay. Of the 25, I want at least 5 space, and of the 20 that are ground, I try to go probably around 6 to 8 in the 2-cost range to make sure that I've at least got something that I can play early on.
That is way more thought than I put into it.
No, that's fine.
I think
go ahead.
You've got to use a lot of the heroism and villainy cards to get your 2-in-1 drops in. I think in this set, that seems to be where a majority of them are.
So one of the other quirks that I noticed when I sit down to fill out the stream deck, right, for the set, I learn a lot. And because I'm taking the previous set, copying and pasting it, and then modifying it to readdress all the new cards. And what I'm learning is that there are more villain and hero only cards in this set than any other set that's been produced. So there's fewer.
So straight white and straight black
white
cards?
and straight black. This is the most they've ever put in a set. I think it's also the most neutral cards. They're not bad cards. And then what they've done to make up for that, the color combos of blue, white, blue, black, all of that, those are basically about the same. What they did is they basically took 1 to 3 cards from each of the straight blue, straight green, straight red, whatever, and put those down into straight black, straight white, or neutral. So those card pools are a little smaller, just a hair, and then the other ones are a little larger. In theory, that should make it easier to play limited, but I have not had that experience yet. So I don't know. I was just curious. So, well, that's been a lot of fun, but now we have cards for the new set. So what are you guys working on? Trey, what are you building? Have the creative juices started flowing yet?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I have one thought for Twin Suns, and then that's kind of that's my first thought now when I look at leaders is what leader will this go with for Twin Suns, because I like that so much. Okay. So I am interested in building an Avar because I don't think Force is going to be very good in Twin Suns. It's just there's not enough Force cards. You don't want to run anything less 30. Anything under 30 points is suicide in Twin Suns on your base. So there's just not a reliable way to get it or use it. So it's not. I don't think the Force stuff is going to be very good. Except I'm really looking forward to putting a token on everything that I play. When I get the Force with Avar Chris, and then I spend it immediately with Obi to make whatever I played super big. And so I want to play double green, and I
could see it.
The default one is for me to go to is blue because there's so many Sentinels in it, but I'm going to try and do it with something else first. So it'll be Avar Chris. So I'm going to have 3 plays on turn 1 where I get the Force. You don't know because you don't play Twin Suns. But when you play Twin Suns, it is basically somebody drops something, somebody drops something, somebody drops something, somebody drops something, claim, done. Like that's kind of the same way in Premiere. It's I have the initiative, I play something, you play something, I claim. Then it's kind of the way it is. But now on turn 1, at least with this deck, I'm going to have 3 things to do. And that's pretty exciting. Otherwise, I'm just playing a bunch of random people's decks on Karabast. I just will go look at whatever the hot decks on SweetDB are. The one that I've had the most fun with recently is Obi Green. That's kind of fun. Dropping a bunch of Yaddle and putting lightsabers on stuff.
Yaddle is blue.
See
you mean new Obi or old Obi?
It's Obi. It's Obi blue. I'm thinking Obi is blue. It's Obi blue. Yeah. Sorry, Obi blue with the 28 point deck or base, and then No, it's not the 28-point base. It's the rare base with 25, where you get the force if you
for
just have
having
a 4.
the 4 HP unit. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, everything in there, everything in blue is like has super high health, and then the stuff in green has super high health. So you just always have to get the force on your turn.
You just get one.
I'm having a good time with it.
Okay, cool.
Is the Jedi lightsaber that shrinks whatever it attacks, so it just
Whenever
makes
you
mincemeat
attack.
out of
Correct.
like the village elders soak up 1 attack, but the shield is meaningless. Or the village, I don't know, the 2/2 sentinel shield, blue white guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not village elders, it's village, I don't know, villagers or something.
Protector.
Yeah, those guys.
Mm.
That guy just gets destroyed by the Jedi lightsaber because it gives him -2/-2.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm enjoying that one, but I haven't put a lot of thought. I just started playing it today and kind of poking around with it. I'm like, oh, this is fun.
Okay.
But nothing is really snaring all of my interest.
You played my Phasma deck last night. What did you think of that?
I enjoyed the Phasma deck. So Wes has been playing a first order deck. He wants to play with Phasma. She gets a lot of pings in when you play it. There's not a lot, but there's no filler. There are no filler first order cards that have been added in this set. There's only a handful that came in this set. There's only 2, I guess, but they came in and they made
only 2 worth playing. 3 actually.
They made a big impact. The deck was fun. It has a lot of, not a lot. It has an aspect of using older cards that haven't been used yet, which I thought was really cool. You put the 1 cost event that gives a unit +2/+2. I use that to great effect.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's actually a card that I wouldn't think is very good, but I'm starting to evaluate it. It's 3 costs for +3/+3 and Overwhelm.
Overpower.
I think that's Overpower. I think that's actually might be a really good card. So you have multiple events in your deck that temporarily give a boost to damage, and I think they both work really well, which I'm excited about that. I thought that was fun.
Overpower is, I think, one of the most overlooked cards in this set. It is the ability to instantly give Overwhelm and a buff to something that's in play can win games. Because Sentinel or not, unit or not, maybe they can't kill it. If I make it +3/+3, maybe you can't kill it, and then I go to base. Maybe I make it +3/+3, you can't kill it. Now I run over your Sentinel, and the overflow kills you. I don't know, but man, it really messes up people's math, and I love that card.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. What have you been working on, Ian?
Well, you got a taste of it yesterday.
Oh my god!
I've been working on that.
I hate that deck. Well, no,
Quinlan discard.
It was not Quinlan. It was Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon. Yeah, Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Discard. It's got some really interesting combos. Trey played it. He seemed to enjoy it. He picked it apart and helped me make it a little better. That was very nice of him.
I think you should switch it to Cal.
I still think I'm with him on this one. I think Cal's I think you should try it with Cal.
I'm going to stick it with Qui-Gon because some of the combos that I can pull off are just fun, right?
You're not wrong.
Like playing an Ahsoka out, having the Force, pulling her up, and playing the Falcon down.
Yeah.
So you've discarded a card, done 3 damage to a base, or taken out of a ship, all for 4 costs.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty good value.
There's a lot of utility there.
So it's pretty fun.
Let me make a suggestion for you,
though.
Before you go to there is value to beating people with a leader that they think is trash and that nobody wants to play.
Qui-Gon.
So you sit down with Cal and they go, well, Qui-Gon is trash, but he's like, he intrigues people. Everybody looks at Cal and goes, this is garbage. Why did they print this? And I think you should give it a try.
If you don't,
I'm going to try all the different leaders in the deck that can play with it to see how it works. Like I'm going to give Quinlan another shot. But I think heavy discard with some of the cards they added, like, the Jedi, what is it? Hidden Jedi.
Oh,
that's
good.
A fun card.
Jedi in Hiding or whatever. That's a great card.
Jedi in Hiding. That's a really fun one.
Good one.
The one that is a waylay plus a discard.
The Will of the Force.
Pretty awesome. Will of the Force is really fun to play. So they've added some cool cards. I kind of took Trey's advice when rebuilding it when I got home last night was to play drops that do something. So like I've pulled out a few cards.
That sounds like such straightforward advice. Play stuff that does,
but play stuff that does 2 things, right? Can do 2 things for you, right? So I pulled out. I was playing the unit Mace set 1. I pulled him out for the new Mace, and that's playing so much smoother, right?
The new Mace is really good.
I I had a game where I brought in. I had a game on Carabas where I brought in Qui-Gon, killed a unit. I killed a Snoke. Then that waylaid a card onto the bottom. I can't remember what I had on the board, but I had something else on the board. And then the next turn I was able to play Mace, basically drop an open fire, pick him up, and then play a Plo Koon in to clear the board. And by the two turns into the second phase, I had complete board control when it looked like I was just going to get creamed. So the flopping the units in and out with Qui-Gon I think has some merit. I'm going to keep going with it.
Okay.
It's enjoyable, but it might be better played with Quinlan. It might be better played with Cal Kestis. But I think
100% it's going to win more if you play with Quinlan, but everybody plays with Quinlan, and that's boring.
Yeah,
Quinlan is just the default yellow-white guy, and he's just the best one, but it's just kind of boring to beat, oh, look, I built a Quinlan Voss deck. That just what everybody else was already playing, even though I came up with it on my own. It's just kind of a boring thing. And if you want to take it to a tournament, you should probably build it as Quinlan Voss, but...
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters what deck I take to a tournament. I'm going to come in low.
Anything else besides Qui-Gon?
So I'm working on a new Twin Suns deck. Like Trey,
Okay.
I really love Twin Suns.
Okay.
So my Twin Suns deck is going to be Maul, Gren, Inquisitor.
I like it.
Mostly just because I have both showcases and it looks cool.
New Maul, not Maul from Twilight.
Yes, new Maul.
Okay.
New Maul.
Maul. Got it.
New Maul and Grand Inquisitor. So that should be a lot of fun.
I've played Maul a couple of times. Hold on.
Go.
I've played Maul a couple of times, and one of the things that I ran into was I ended up having to ding myself too. I was too good at controlling the opponent's units, so when I wanted to use Maul's ability, I ended up having to ding my own guys. And if it's not Ogdo Bogdo, then it kind of sucks to ding your own guys. I think in Twin Suns it's going to be a lot better because there are so many more units out there. So I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, and I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it blue so that I'll play some grit units so that if I have to ping myself, it helps me.
Now,
it doesn't hurt me.
Grand Inquisitor, just the old school leader, got a lot of interesting units to build with in this set. Are you going to look at him in Premiere again?
I think I might build a Grand Inquisitor yellow deck.
Okay.
Because I think that might be the way to go.
I could see it.
But a lot of people online are building a lot of Grand Inquisitor decks. So, you know me, I like to do my own thing. So I think that's why I went towards Qui-Gon, because nobody seems to care.
Okay.
And then I'm working on putting together my first trilogy decks for the new trilogy format. And I really want to make them themed. So I actually wanted to ask you guys and get some ideas from you. So I came up with 2 themes that sounded pretty good. I want to do maybe a Death Star 2 final battle with Vader, Luke, and Papa Palp, and do them all mono. For my trilogy decks, I will only be making them mono so that I'm not hurting myself card-wise.
Okay.
And taking out a pool of cards, right? Because you can only have, the way that works is you have 3 decks, but you can only have 3 of the same card spread throughout the deck. So if I play Papa Palp green and Vader green, I can't have 6 overwhelming barrages. I have to split them between the decks.
Correct.
So
I mean, you could. You'd just be cheating.
It would be cheating, yeah.
It would not be legal.
And as somebody who has seen cheating now firsthand, I do not believe in cheating.
Really? You've seen cheating? Were you watching me play Morgan Elspeth wrong, or was it something more serious than
that? Something more serious than that, and a couple of times now I've seen it. So I definitely don't want to cheat. But the other one I thought of was a Hoth Assault, where it's Luke, Leia, and Vader, right? The ground assault on Hoth. I was gonna play Space Luke, because in that battle he's in the what is the snow speeder?
Jiminy
yeah. But I was hoping you guys could throw out some other maybe theme ideas that I could go with. If you have any,
I haven't considered yet. I'm just going to build Premier decks that just don't overlap. I hadn't tried the thematic approach to it.
Was it you?
No, I mean, it's trilogy, so it sounds thematic to me. And I like the idea of theme. Like, I've built some theme decks in the past that haven't been very good. I did remember I built the Death Star Assault Trooper or Assault Team where it was only cards from people who were on the Death Star.
Okay.
That didn't play very well, but it was fun. Like, so I like building wacky
Was
stuff like
it-
that. So I think I want to go theme.
Was it you that was telling me they were looking at Siege of Mandalore as a build around, or was it
Yeah.
Anthony? It was you.
That was me, yeah. I thought
was-
of Siege of Mandalore, where you could do Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano, and Maul.
Maul.
Why are you asking him anything about Anthony? Of course he's going to say Anthony's an idiot and doesn't come up with anything on his own. It's just Ian.
Which is a
No,
lie. because
Anthony builds all his own decks.
I was
He
gonna
will
say,
never
if-
play
if-
a made deck.
if you would have guaranteed set Anthony off, start talking about net decks, because he'll just melt down faster than Chernobyl. Man.
Meta's such a joke, guys. You can't play that stuff. It's just cheating. It's just cheating. Why even come?
Are we mimicking Anthony or are we mimicking Wes?
No, that's Anthony. He is a purist.
Okay.
He is a purist for sure. Well, Trey, Trey kind of has seen one of the ones that I've. Now I've had Phasma ACL in the bin for a while, but I was excited for this set when they started spoiling the cards because it filled in a couple of things that I think help her out. The Praetorian Guard has been a really good Sentinel card in that deck. The Knights of Ren for the cost is a brilliant card. And the little Exegol Fighter is a winner too, like the little 3/1 for 2 costs. Like that's a great card. And then I really think Overwhelm has helped that deck a lot. Now, the other thing that I'm still looking at, I'm deciding, I haven't made a choice yet. At the moment, the version, Trey, you played had Overwhelming Barrages in it, obviously. But I'm still considering Craving Power.
A resource to that.
Yeah. If it comes up at the wrong time, you just don't play it. But I'm considering Craving Power as well, just because it's OB adjacent. But I like the ability to just play the buff, just straight up. It sticks to the board like it's an upgrade.
3/3.
Yeah, it's a 2/2 actually. It's a 2/2 for 5.
2/2.
But at the end of it, what I like about it is the ability. That deck has the ability to like pump in other ways with either Phasma's unit ability or whatever, and then you can play that on top of somebody and smash out a ton of damage onto something. Like you could kill an Executor, right? Like if you had to. Is it likely? No. Is it possible? In a pinch, it's possible. So I'm considering that card, but I like that deck. I rebuilt Kylo. You got, of course, that was
so good.
That's a terrible matchup for your discard garbage.
Doesn't matter. It's so fast. I loved it.
I will always
I
love
it.
That.
It was so fast.
I'll always come back to Kylo. He's one of my first loves in this game. The Strike Ship is a great card for him. What's there something? Oh, Battle Fury. That new battle, the new 3/3 for 2 upgrade in Villain Red that on attack discard a card. Kylo just looked at that and went, "Yes, please." Like I don't care.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. It's cheaper than a Fallen Lightsaber. And if I still have a random card left in my hand when I go to on my deploy turn, sure, I don't care. I'll just throw it away and hit harder. Like he got some fun toys in this set. And I've been dicking around with Vader Red for a while. You guys saw that at one of the constructeds that we built, that we played not long ago. I've gone back into that and keep tweaking that deck. It's fun. It hates that discard shenanigans you were playing. But I
don't know if it hates the discard shenanigans or you hate the discard shenanigans.
Both. It's both. It's both. Because if you're going to play a card game, you can't play a card game without cards. And so when the game company has designed too many cards that say
that's not true.
Garbage, discard your crap out of your
no cards.
That's fine. Okay, so great. We found one leader. Congratulations. Out of 78 or whatever it is now. Well done.
92, baby. 92.
Whatever it is, it's a lot. It's 18 times 5, 90. There's 90 leaders, and we have one that doesn't care if he has cards in hand. The rest all kind of care. But I like that Vader Red deck. It's got a lot of neat tools. I'm a villain aggro guy at heart, and I'll probably end up building Third Sister Yellow at some point in this set as well and just mess around with that. So I've got some other things I got to work on. I've gone back. Piet got a neat card this set. I have not really played this deck much, but I have Piet Data Vault built. And Double Green got a new capital ship this set.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Have you guys seen this card?
I've looked at it, but I don't recall what it does.
I haven't pulled it.
It's a 7 cost, 5/8 that on attack you give another friendly unit +5/+5.
Yes.
So Piet looked at that and went,
play that in at 5.
Oh, I can make my Sentinels harder to kill on the ground? Yes, please. So, or I can make Piet, Admiral Piet, as he stands on the ground, a 7-10 or whatever, 7-12. Yes, please. Like, so yeah, I'm gonna mess around with that one a little bit. What else did I write down?
You should check out somebody online. I'll have to send you the link. Somebody online made a really cool Piet droid deck.
I've seen that one rolling around.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, which was pretty interesting. You might want to check that out for some build ideas.
For sure.
It's pretty interesting.
For sure. The other one I was kind of trying to put together this afternoon, that double red mace, right? Mace from Twilight that's been going around. I've tried to adapt that one into a force base to try and mess around with Ki-Adi-Mundi and the new Mace Windu and that sort of thing. But I haven't quite finished it yet, and I'm not sure where it's all going to land. So we'll see how that one comes out. Speaking of discard cards, we're going to jump the queue. We'll come back to the card winner thing in a minute. There's this big, kerfluffle, ongoing conversation, right? Because we got our meta update last week, our last pre-galactic championships. Of course, the first world championship of the game coming up in only 2.5 weeks or so. And, they declined to make any changes. Nothing new on the banned or suspended list. I wasn't really surprised by this, but I think it's a mistake, right? I think force throws. I think after it ruins the Galactic Championships at the end of the month, force throw is going to be on the naughty list in August. That's my opinion. I want to know what you guys think.
I think you should. You're going to Denver. I think you should take Kylo and win the tournament.
Well, I'm going to Las Vegas, and I'm taking Kylo, and I'm going to play the crap out of him, but I'm not going to play in the main event.
Oh, well, then somebody should take Kylo in the main event and beat this deck and beat it. I mean, if everybody's lining up to play the thing, you played against it yesterday with Kylo, and you giggled when he would do that to you. You would just start a one, it wouldn't do anything, and then you would win the game.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this having force throw makes Kylo a viable deck, and if Kylo shows up in numbers to fight force throw, then it's gonna just be another thing that is powerful that you can do with force throw, and then that'll keep it in check, and other people will play it. So I hope it's not super powerful. I hope enough Kylo shows up to beat it.
It's already super powerful, right? When I can play a one cost card out of my hand and murder your leader as soon as he flips. That's not balanced, guys. That's not okay.
But then you're not playing your cards in your hand around it. You're not paying attention to an aspect of the game. You hold a 1-drop when you flip your leader, and then they go force throw, and you discard that, and they wasted a card, and they did 1 damage. And
no. You're misunderstanding. If I'm going to murder your leader, I'm not banking on you having something in your hand. I'm going to throw my Bendu at you and just murder him.
Okay, so you just cost yourself 2 cards.
To get rid of your leader? Easily.
To kill something, yeah. So build your deck around it. Just I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying it's hard, and it may be overpowered. I don't know, but I have to see people play it with money on the line. I have to play it with money on the line to make sure that there's not a solution to it outside.
I think you're going to get your wish.
It does look very powerful.
I think you're going to get your wish.
That'll be great.
I think time will tell. I mean, you talk about it like it's this crazy overpowered card, but like I would tell you that overwhelming barrage on turn on 5 resources can clear a board as well. So like there are other cards that are still just as powerful as force throw. I think what led to like TDR being banned and triple dark raid is really the card you want to look at when you're talking about banned cards, right? It had so much to fish out once JTL came out that it just became overpowered because of the amount of units you could pull with it at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure force throw is there. Maybe discard as a whole might be there. I expect to see some really heavy, really strong discard decks.
Yeah.
Because what I find when I play the hard discard deck that I'm working on is that it really hurts mid-range game. So if your deck is like a Kira, if your deck is really set up for that mid-range, that's where I want to win the game, that's where I want to take control, you've got to be super careful on the units you play. You got to be super careful on the cards you play because a good discard deck now can run you out of cards. Like I did it yesterday to you with Vader twice. You're like, I don't know how you're going to close this. Well, it's real easy. At a certain point, you have 1 card in your hand. I can discard it basically at will, and I can just keep my units on the board at that point. So I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see in Galactic Champions. I hope their coverage is as fun as our Denver coverage. I hope they start a shot counter. I hope they do fun things like that.
They won't.
I hear that FFG is doing it themselves.
Yes.
So there will definitely not be a shot counter.
There will not be a shot counter on the official stream.
I think.
Now, also probably won't be an.
We weren't official. We were Pirates, big guy.
I will say, you and I are going to find, if it gets this bad, you and I are going to find somewhere, and we're going to do some shots for when they start playing these things, because it's going to be hilarious.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But anyway,
we'll get a bottle into right around the final for the final tables.
I'm not shooting tequila with you. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, I can hold my tequila, my man.
I know you can.
My tequila.
I know you can.
I also like the good stuff. We couldn't afford to do shots of tequila.
Can't afford to shoot the good stuff, man. If we're gonna shoot stuff, you got to shoot the crap. You got to shoot the well stuff. Yeah.
But I mean, if it's like the dominant card that everybody plays, I think they'll take a look at it. But
I want to be wrong.
I don't think it's powerful enough. I think it's super annoying and a super great card, but I don't think it's like it causes everybody to lose every game.
The biggest problem I have with it, I look at it through the same lens I look at DJ, right? They threw DJ to the curb. Why? He was a negative play experience, and he gatekept certain leaders and certain things out of the environment.
No,
Force throw's going to be in the exact same position.
DJ got banned because of the tech combo.
Yeah, because
DJ doesn't get banned without if you take tech out of the realm, DJ doesn't get banned, because if you're playing it at 7 cost, you're not setting somebody back. But like I've had games where when Trey used to play double yellow Han, where he would tech DJ me and then tech DJ me again and then tech DJ me again,
Correct.
and I wanted to throw my cards at
that what you just described is expressly what FFG said they were getting rid of when they banned it.
Okay.
Okay.
But force throw doesn't stop you from playing your cards. It can just kill a card.
Yeah.
At the cost of 2 cards.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. I think it's a mistake. Carbonites have been a bit of a mess, according to what folks are saying. I've only opened like 5, and I didn't have these problems. But apparently, they've had a lot of quality control issues with the Carbonite packs this set.
I've opened 14, and they've all been fine.
God. I've opened 0. Where do you people get this money?
How do
you have enough money to buy?
I bought 1 and 1 4. I've opened 5 total.
Okay, so you won 4. All right, I'll give you that one. All right. I was excited that I have $40 in credit at Dragon Slayer, and I get to buy 2 packs for $10. So
I have a really loving wife,
and no kids,
and no kids. Yeah, unfortunately.
Guilty.
Guilty. Yeah. See, you don't know what it's like. Now just wait till you're in your 80s and nobody loves you anymore. And you can't be a burden on anybody.
Well,
now
I'll figure that out.
So the day that people started really cracking packs, I don't remember what day it was, but it was late last week. People started really cracking packs. I saw like a thing on Reddit, a post on Reddit in the SWU subreddit that was like, "Hey, I just opened a box and half of them were missing the prestige cards." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And then I checked back like 30 minutes later, and there were 2 more messages that were like, "Yeah, I opened 2 boxes and like 30% of them were missing the prestige cards." And so like it became like reports start. I don't know how many they opened. I don't know how many. You're not going to see the people opening prestige boxes that got everything went just fine on, but still, that was a lot of reports of there being quality control issues.
Yeah.
Of, hey, I only buy these packs for these prestige cards, and they weren't in the pack.
Yeah.
So that seems like a difficult situation. That's another black eye for FFG when it comes to doing something.
It's
manufacturing the game,
and it's going to happen. It's going to happen at their own GC in a few weeks, right? People are going to go up to the prize wall and cash in 500 tickets for a Carbonite pack. What's going to happen? And they're going to open it, and it's not going to have a prestige card in it. Are they going to get their tickets back? Are they going to hand them another pack? How's that going to work? Because the way this was explained was that these kinds of quality control problems, you don't contact FFG directly. You go back to the store or the vendor where you bought the product, and they have like a form to fill out to send to FFG to get, I don't know, refund or replace. I don't know exactly how it works, but it's you don't, when you have this problem, contacting FFG doesn't solve it. But what happens when I'm buying or getting the stuff directly from FFG at their big event, now I am gonna just go back to them and be like, now what?
Well,
Fix my stuff.
at the very least, they're there for you to go shake your fist and a fistful of non-prestige
Fair.
cards in their face.
I mean, the worst, the best. I mean, probably all they can do is just hand you another pack and hope that one's not faulty too. But I think if you're, go ahead.
Well, I saw one response from somebody that reached out to FFG, and that wasn't the response that wasn't the solution at all. It wasn't go back to your people. The response from FFG was, we don't guarantee anything that's in this pack. We just tell you what we expect it to be. And what it is most of the time, we don't guarantee anything.
Wow,
and
that's
so
100% not
what you want.
That's 100% not what I saw.
I hope that's not true.
Yeah,
that's like the worst customer service
that's not what
I've ever heard.
The only thing they said is, we assure you that we printed the exact right amount of prestige cards for the number of packs. So either you're going to get a bunch of packs that have double prestiges in them, or there's somebody at that factory who's got a box full of free prestige cards that's causing problems.
I got to figure out where I saw this.
Do you think maybe because the prestige packs have such a variety of how they look this time? Like the ship ones all kind of look the same, right? They were like a full art picture, and pretty regular. Like this time you've got cards that, like, to be honest, when I pulled
it's hard to tell them apart.
When I pulled the Dune prestige card, I didn't realize it at first. I went right past it because it's just basically the same card with a gray background. I just went through it, and it wasn't foil or anything special.
All right.
So
you're saying they're in there and people are just missing them.
I don't believe that.
Maybe they don't. I mean, I don't know. It's a theory. I mean, I almost missed mine, but my wife made me record me opening all the packs because I had told her that some of the prestige cards were missing, and she's like, "Well, those are the good ones, and that's what we're paying for."
She's not wrong.
So we opened them on video.
So on what was the 6th? The 6th was Monday. Was it? What was the 6th? Monday night? Sunday.
Yes. No, Sunday night.
Sometime on. So there's a message going around from Ron Longy, who is the head of FFG's OP, Organized Play Guys. There's a snippet off of somebody's Discord server that says, if you're missing prestige card, bring your purchase back to the store. The retailer can replace or refund, and they have a process for FFG to compensate them for damaged or defective products.
That is a way better answer than sorry.
Then go pound sand. Yeah, that's a way better answer than go pound sand. Yeah, that's not ever what you want to hear in this business. Well, if this happens to you, I would encourage you to follow Ron's suggestion and go back to the store where you bought the stuff and figure all that out.
Or go to Rosemont in Minnesota and knock on the door and shake your fist and like start demanding action on this.
Angry man yells at cloud.
Is it? I mean, if they're missing though, is it really that surprising? Like, I have a lot of the Spark of the Rebellion reprints that I have, the legendaries I have are
don't have the foil. They don't have the foil stamp on them.
I have a Vigilance that doesn't have a foil stamp. I have a Vader that doesn't have one. I have a Luke that's really super off-centered. Like, look, they rush some of this stuff sometimes. Like, I understand. Like, not everything's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
This is a brand new industry. They haven't been doing this for very long. You got to give them time to work the kinks out. It's only been 30-something years since that they started printing these cards. Settle down. Just relax.
They've only had 3.
They will get around to it in another century or so. They'll have this stuff down.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, I'm just saying it's not overly surprising.
So misprints and things of that nature are going to happen, right? But sorting errors like this, in my experience, is really not that common. Back
really,
when
set two, you could open map boxes.
Yes,
Trey literally could open the boxes and tell you exactly what was inside.
I know
by
that.
Opening the first 4 packs. Like,
one pack. I can do it off of one pack.
And that is
pack.
And my point is that is not normal. That's the only time I've ever seen that happen in any of the CCGs that I have played. And you notice it hasn't happened since.
This is my first one, so I just expect printing errors and all that kind of stuff from them at this point.
Misprints and miscut cards are a common thing. Even back in set 1, when there was a scarcity of product, you were seeing showcases come out that were miscut or crimped through the middle, right? Where the card hadn't been fully inserted into the pack before the machine tried to seal the pack. And so now the card is like irrevocably damaged. Like, it happens. Yeah,
I mean, kid about not having errors, but they're physically moving paper around and cutting it and printing it, and you don't see the thousands and thousands and thousands of times that they get it right, because people just look at it and move on.
Right.
The machine slips. There's not enough friction on this one little belt. It doesn't move the card far enough. Like the tiny little things that in these are incredibly complex machines.
Yeah.
That load the paper, print the paper, cut the paper, sort the paper, put the rounded edges on all the cards, put it in pack. Like these are just massively complex machines that do this. And so it's to be expected, but still it's frustrating.
Now, not long after we recorded our last episode, they dropped a retrospective of last year, of the first year of the game, right? And talking about from the design team. This was from Tyler, talking through the wins and losses, the hits and misses out of each set. Kind of things they thought they had done well and things they thought they had missed. Trying to do a little bit of self-reflection. For starters, I was really glad to see them do this. I thought it was really... it's nice to see people take the time to go back and maybe kind of share some of their lessons learned, right? In my industry, as an engineer, we do this all the time on big jobs, right? When you have a big project, at the end of it, usually the management will request or make you sit down and put together a 2 to 5 page kind of lessons learned document. What did we do well? What do we need to do better for next time? And I liked it. I liked
very honest.
It did, and I liked that about
it.
It
was a good article.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like he spends about a few paragraphs talking about each set. I think he pretty much nailed, for my money, he more or less nailed Spark. I think, and he's right. I think that was a really, really good set. I think it was very well designed, very well balanced, and it was obvious that the design cycle, the length and time and care they had put into it. Shadows, again, in retrospect now, at the time, Shadows felt a little, but having seen what Twilight was, Shadows looks amazing by comparison. Shadows, I think my only frustration coming out of that set is like, you gave us these great mechanics. Like Bounty and Smuggle are really, really great mechanics. Where are they? Why are they gone forever? Like
face of the earth, gone.
Like that's a whole other conversation. So, okay, fair enough. The Twilight section of this was where I kind of started to go, okay, you recognize the weakness of this set, but I feel like you're still missing the point on some things. He talked about specifically, wanting to make sure that everything got one last nerf to make sure they didn't print anything too powerful. You're left with the impression that they're so terrified of making good cards that they just cannot help but end up making bad ones because they're so afraid to let anything out of the design lab that might be a touch OP, right?
Which just all that does is exacerbate the few that they miss.
Yes, exactly. He kind of had this paragraph where he praised the leader design in this set, which blows my mind about Twilight, because when you look back at that leader pool, there's only Django was so busted he ended up getting banned. Right now, eventually, that's because of how his flip side worked, and we could do a whole other discussion about that. Anakin. In limited formats, Anakin is grossly overpowered, and he's decently, in Premiere, he's more or less okay, because he's got other leaders he has to compete with. Yoda, I think, is a really interesting leader design that actually has come out of that set eventually and made an interesting splash, and I think they kind of nailed that one. It just took a little while for the cards to catch up to that. But after those three, name one other leader out of Twilight that isn't just binder fodder.
Quinlan.
Okay, you're right. I forgot Quinlan. You're right. That's fair.
But I opened up Sweetie B to look at these leaders to have some form of rebuttal, but these are trash, dude.
Yes,
these are such hot garbage. You've got Quinlan. You've got people that play Palpatine. He never really did good competitively, but people do play him. People tried Mace. Anakin is a good one.
Like
Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda actually I think they did okay
Obi, and that's it.
Like
people played Obi in a little bit later.
The only other one that I think might have some legs eventually, if they can print enough cards for him, is Dooku. Right? Dooku's problem, I think, is not in the leader design. Dooku's problem is in the fact that the Separatist cards generally are all overcosted because they were terrified of breaking exploit.
Right. Yeah, and
Well,
it's
and based
commitment.
on and based on how they're printing right now, we're not going to see those keywords again. It seems like every set gets a new keyword, but we don't get older keywords.
Who knows?
We're only getting
the traits, but we do get. There are separatist cards in the new set, but they're not groundbreaking.
Well,
They're just
but none of them
hard.
have exploit. Not a single one has exploit.
But
no, not exploit.
But I like that better personally, because when they don't print a card with exploit on it, they cost it normally. They use whatever formula they use, and the card comes out costed more or less okay. When they were putting that exploit keyword on things, it was like they grossly overcosted things because they were like trying to force you to exploit it out. It was weird, at least in Twilight.
When I read the article, what lost me when they talked about Twilight is the first thing I would have talked about as a play designer was, wow, we did not play test this set very well with the other sets.
Yeah.
We brought out a set that put so many new combos together that we had to ban a leader, we had to ban a card. Like, where was the playtesting? I'm sorry, if you put all those cards in front of Trey, he's gonna find those broken mechanics, right? He's gonna find them. Their playtesters did not find in that set the broken mechanic.
I will counterpoint that with one thing that they actually copped to when they banned Django. They pointed out that when they were testing Django and testing Twilight, Boba was still legal in their little playtest world. Okay, and it wasn't until Boba was kicked to the curb that everybody looked at Django and went, well, I guess you're the next one on deck, and figured out how to break him, right? So I give them a little grace on Django, but I still think the leader design was flawed from the to begin with, because the front side of Django is limited and the back side is not. And that an unlimited exhaust is an insane mechanic in this game.
So you were talking about Boba there. That was the biggest. Again, I thought it felt very honest. I like seeing people take that. Honest doesn't mean correct, though. And I had hair before I read this article, and it was all knocked off whenever I read talk about why they banned Boba. That is just the complete. I don't know if that's the real reason they banned Boba. Okay, so if you read the article, he says, we didn't take into account how powerful it was going to be to untap resources. And that's not why Boba was banned at all.
No.
Boba was fine, except that he came out on turn 5. If he'd have come out on turn 6, he would have been perfect.
He would have been fine.
That's the only reason he was overpowered and overplayed and had to be banned. And so to
his
say,
unit side, his flip side alone was just overpowered.
I dare anybody in the game to pick up a Boba Fett and put his unit side down next to unit Grand Inquisitor and unit Cassian Andor and explain any of those numbers to me. You can't. They're indefensible.
Or just see, what I think would be an interesting, I don't know if it's a thought experiment, but be to ask, it would be possible to replay the whole meta with Boba at 6, but maybe ask Chat GPT to replay the whole meta at Boba at costing 6, and then see like just that he's just another leader that's good and people play him and they like him. But I would expect random schmoes out in the world to be like, oh, untapping resources, because people are dumb and they don't understand things. But like, I'm sure in an alternate universe, we're over here griping about things that aren't really the issue. But to see the people, I don't know if the designers banned it because they thought untapping was too powerful and they told him. I don't know the guy that wrote this. I don't know what his role is. I don't know if he's just the social media guy and he just assumed that this was the issue. But if this is that's not who he is.
Tyler Parrott is the creative design lead of the entire FFG like game design lab.
Okay, I don't know names very well. If I saw his face, I'd probably be like, oh, that guy.
Yeah.
But then I had a little bit of hair. Now that's gone too. To see somebody that involved just completely, like, they did the right thing, but for such wrong reasons, that is just wild to me.
Yeah.
The guy that makes the game just didn't understand that it was the 5 and not the untapping that was the issue.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now that I'm the one talking, I'm gonna take my ball and keep going.
Keep
so
running.
I read this article and he talked about some of the misses and the hits, and like I brought this up like the day it was released or shortly after it was released. Wes and I talked. I was like, we gotta talk about this one. don't remember everything, but one of the things that I remember I wanted us to come up with, and I mentioned it, but I don't know if you guys did it. Like, what are some of the non-obvious things that you think? Like, obviously, Boba Fett was undercosted, or like the mechanics issues. One of the things that I thought was an underreported, underappreciated, kind of flew under the radar because Spark of Rebellion was designed so well. I thought the AT series stuff, the AT-ST, the AT-ATs, the suppressor, I thought those were so poorly designed compared to Star Destroyers. Like, it just feels like a giant whiff. You have the
agree.
one that comes out at 8, the green one that lets you heal. That was a good one. There was just such an iconic piece of lore or machinery or stuff that goes in it to just miss on all of them.
I will say,
I felt real bad. I felt bad for
the Chicken Walker, the AT-ST.
The AT-ST was playable.
That's actually that's actually a pretty solid card. Even today, a 6/7 overwhelmed for 6 is not bad.
It's fine, but that should have been the worst one.
I would agree with
the best one.
I would agree with that. I back in the old Decipher days, I was a huge player of Imperial vehicle decks. Like, I played Star Destroyers and I played Walkers, and I would stick pilots in them and I would conquer the galaxy. That was just how I preferred to play the game. I'm with you. I think they hit Star Destroyers on the head. Most of those see some play, but the big Imperial Walkers have just been a dud, and we've never seen like they haven't even gone back to that well since set 1. I'd love to see them do that again. Like, fix it. Yeah, I'm with you there.
So I will say that the biggest strength that I think that they did in this game was the continued development of the style of gameplay of this particular game. One of the biggest things that I teach a lot of people to play the game, and a fair number of them come from Magic, and just the layout of the game and the way a turn is structured is so vastly different from Magic. That's kind of the biggest hurdle for a Magic player to overcome. The idea that at Magic, you have the idea that it's my turn, and I'm going to do everything I want to do until I can't go anymore, and then I'm going to pass the turn, meaning that the person on the other side is, for the most part, just sitting there waiting on you to finish, and then when you finish, now I'm going to do everything I could possibly want to do. And the shift over to I do one thing, and you do one thing, and that shift is the hardest thing to teach Magic players about, to grasp about this game. But it is the defining factor that I think makes this game so good, is that it keeps people engaged. It keeps it adds levels of strategy that you don't see in Magic or other games like Lorcana that do something similar. And so it started, I want to say, and I don't know all of their games, it may have started something else, but I know with Netrunner, it started with like you get to do 3 things. Okay. And then somebody I don't know if it was 3 and 3 or 3 and 1, but and then that got refined. Star Wars Destiny was I do one thing, you do one thing. And that was, I still think Star Wars Destiny is way better than this game. But
it got to that
I still
point.
Think,
it got there.
Huh?
It got there. Destiny did not come out of the gate as strong as Unlimited did.
Well, yeah, because I think Star Wars Unlimited is standing on the shoulders of Destiny.
I would agree.
And so, just the whole refinement, there are a couple of tweaks to the system, like the way you end a turn is slightly different, but the refinement of that system is the biggest strength. Like, this is the secret sauce to FFG card games now, is this I go, you go, I go, you go, and we both end our turns kind of at the same time. And that is an incredible mechanic. And so I think that's the biggest hit that they have, is refining this. What?
It's the chess match. I move a piece.
You move a piece. From chess.
I move a piece. You move a piece. I love it. Ian, what's your takeaway from this article?
I think the only thing that I thought was strange or missing is they talked about how in Shadows, how everybody loved the smuggle and the bounty keywords, but then they just stopped printing smuggle and bounty keywords in any set. So, I mean, how do you make something that your players love the option of, right? I love smuggle cards. I don't play very many right now. Love, and the fact that you just have abandoned them so far is kind of strange to me. I guess as a new player, I would assume every set would have keyword support to keep making some of those leaders continually playable. But the boss control decks are going to be non-existent now. I just don't see how you could play them going further into this game, because there's not enough bounties to really support you anymore. So I thought that was interesting in the article, how about they pointed out how, everybody loved these keywords, and we're just not going to print any more keywords. Now, maybe this next set has those keywords in it again, and I'm completely wrong, and I'll have to eat crow. But it seems to me that they have a pretty set plan where every set's going to have a couple of new keywords, and that's going to be how that set plays within its sealed and draft environments, and then we'll move on to new ones. And I don't think they're gonna, minus like the standard ones that we started with Overwhelm, Ambush. God, what are the rest?
Sentinel, Raid,
Sentinel,
Restore.
Raid and Restore, like that. They don't seem to reprint any ones. So I would love to see, like, they know we like these cards. Like, give us more of these.
So what's interesting to me is in all the other sets, I'm gonna talk about LOF differently in a minute. Like the previous sets, they've introduced these keywords like smuggle and bounty, and then like you and I share this frustration. They dropped it like a bad habit. My assumption has always been they're throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Do players like it? Does it functionally work? Does it fit within the design space that we intend for our game? Okay, great. What interests me, what there's obviously been a bit of a mind shift though, because when Legends of the Force was announced, or they started talking about it, and they announced the hidden keyword, they said from the beginning that hidden was going to be evergreen. That one was going to come back next set, and the set after that, and the set after that. And so I'm like, okay, well, that's great, but when are we going to go back and revisit the other stuff that we like? I don't think we're going to see it in set 6. I think you're not going to... What I want to hear them tell us at some point is that when set 7 releases, smuggle and bounty and piloting are permanently part of the game. They are evergreen. There will always be some cards floating around the environment that have those keywords. That's what I want to hear. Will they do it?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Trey's like, I don't really care. I'm just me.
There's only so much space in a set, and you got these people that nobody wants to maintain the thing that the software. Nobody wants to go back and fix the bugs or add the features. They want to build the new software. In this case, they want to build the new game. Like that's the if I'm a designer, I want to go build a new game. So it doesn't. I got my smuggle. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool. It would be nice if we got a couple new smuggle cards. But I already have all these new toys to play with. I'm not as concerned about going back and playing with the older toys.
Here's where I think they have to be. I don't want to say careful, cognizant. Let's say cognizant. They have to be cognizant of the community they're working with, right? Star Wars fans, and I count myself on this list. I am not exempt from this, right? We all have our favorites, and we're very, very passionate about our favorite characters, our favorite movie, our favorite battle scene, or whatever, okay? And when we feel like that leader, that character is disrespected, we take it a little personally. So I think that they're aware of this, and I hope that they endeavor to address some of these kinds of things, right?
I think the way they address it, though, is they make a new version of that leader that's better, that people can play.
I'm okay.
That doesn't have smuggle.
Fine.
Hondo was something else.
I can live with that. Give me a version of Hondo and Lando that don't deal with smuggle, and I'll probably play him, right? Give me a version of Wedge that isn't 100% dependent on pilot cards, and I'll probably play him too. But until you do, you're gonna hear this from a subset of the community. People are gonna keep talking about it. That it bugs them. It's just part of it, I think. We've got probably 10-ish minutes left here, Ties. Do we want to keep going?
I want all the listeners to know. I want all listeners to know that this is more Twin Suns that we are playing right now, as Wes has pushed this and talked, so that we run out of time and don't get to talk about Twin Suns. This is a political game. He's trying to push.
Here's the thing. If you guys want to talk Twin Suns, I'm going to kick back and let you talk and maybe ask the occasional dumb question, because until I've played more than 2 games of getting my face smashed in by the person sitting across from me, I don't have an opinion.
But you know how you play that third game without getting your face smashed in is you actually play the third game.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that at Worlds. I'm not going to do it with players from Houston.
Okay.
Oh, boo!
You'll survive. Maybe I might make an exception for you, Ian. Maybe.
All right, so it's been a few weeks. This was before the new set came out. We did have we support Twin Suns pretty regularly. Jason runs the things at Dragon's Lair, and we ran a Store Champs as Twin Suns, just kind of testing out the rules. So we ran a 5-round tournament, and then there was no cut. There was just a top 8. We learned some rules that are good. We learned some rules that need adjusting, that may be counterintuitive. We went to play. Ian, you weren't there, were you? Were you there?
I was in Alaska, baby.
You were still in Alaska. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you were fishing. I played. I talk a lot about Twin Suns on this podcast, and a lot of
Mhm.
the people at this tournament, they listened to me talk about Twin Suns on this podcast, and it didn't matter at all. I
Mhm.
beat them all. I put them over the edge of the table, and I pounded their head in with a baseball bat, and I made them like it while I did. No, I'm kind of joking.
So
I did go 5-0. I won all 5 rounds. At the end of the game, I was tournament. One of the things we found out is if somebody goes X and O and they get at the end of the tournament and you get that and you're pairing people by record, it kind of messes things up if the person who's already secured first and can't lose is sitting there just chucking chaos bombs into the other people duking it out to make the top 4. So if you get to that point, if you're thinking of running your own tournament, you should probably, if somebody, when you get to that last table, well, one of the things we thought about is just make all pairings random all the time instead of pairing top people against top people. One of the things that I also suggest is we were doing match points. So it was 3, 2, 1, 0. So first place gets 3 points, second place gets 2 points, third place gets 1 point, and the person who loses gets none. That put a lot of one of the things that it would allowed me to do really well in this tournament was I would create situations where I would give the kill to the person on my left, and I would put them in a position where they could take the kill, heal for 5, and secure second place for themselves. And so by guaranteeing themselves 2 points, they gave me first place with 1 point. That allowed them, so in it that used some number of their units, usually the biggest one, is what that took out of the equation. So they got to heal for 5, but that means they didn't get to attack me with the 6 or the 7 power creature that they used to kill that person, and I still had all my guys up. And so then that person's dead, the person on my left healed for 5, and now the 3 of us are duking it out, and I have all of my stuff, basically all of my stuff ready. So usually in a Twin Suns game, somebody be almost dead, and it'll be a situation where they have 8 health left, or say they have 7 health left, and somebody's got a 5, and somebody's got a 4, and somebody's got or 6, and or something like that. Nobody wants to be the person that delivers that killing or delivers a little blow so that somebody else can deliver the killing blow and then give them the 5 health.
Unless you're Baldy.
Unless you're Baldy, then you're just chucking chaos bombs. But I would put myself in a position to playing the game beyond that where I'll hit them for 2 and I'll put them in range of everybody at the table and be like, all right, you guys duke it out for whoever's going to kill them. And in doing so, they take their big guys out of the fight the rest of the round, and I'm able to manage things such that I come away with the win. And so anyway, there are a lot. So one, you can mitigate that by scoring if you change it to 3-1-1-0, so that their second and third place is kind of exactly the same. That is something I'd consider trying if you're going to run one of these tournaments. Also, completely random pairings. And when you do a pairing, you do not just a table, but a seat, because you don't want the same people sitting next to each other over and over. It matters who you sit next to. So if you get to walk up and be like, I'm going to sit on that side of that guy because I know how the turns are going to work, then there is an advantage in that, and you don't want there to be an advantage in that. So pairings should be you're at table 1, seat 3, not just you're at table 1, and then kind of random.
Okay.
Choose where you sit.
That does make sense.
I didn't play in it, but at pre-release, everybody came to talk to me about it. So
Yeah?
I have some notes. Here.
Oh.
So basically, Trey did his normal shenanigans of pointing out all the moves on the table he wanted people to make.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, the local peeps didn't make the moves. But there were a few times they said that your mind control worked on some players, and you got some things that you wanted in your favor that helped you win games. I mean, but at the end of the day, what I told him is that's Twin Suns, right? Trey's strategy of you can do all this, or you can kill my little 2/2 guy. Don't worry about him.
Pay no
and then
attention.
10 seconds later, surprise strike in your face.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I don't play yellow. Yeah, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
But yeah, so being political at the table really helps. I wish I could have been there because I would have had a great time. You guys, the fact that you played 5 Twin Suns games was
so
enough
much fun
to make me happy. It's like that would have been a great afternoon.
Time.
So
yeah.
I'll probably take I have a Twin Suns deck built. I'll probably drag it to Vegas. But one of the gentlemen that worked with me in Minneapolis was a gentleman named Mark from the UK. and he is going to be there. And he told me he's bringing 8 Twin Suns decks all himself.
Ooh,
that way
nice.
he's like, I will just
Holy
pass
crap!
them out.
I thought I was a baller.
He's like,
I
I'm
took
gonna just
5 one time.
He goes, I'm gonna pass them out, and we're gonna play the hell out of it. He goes, he literally told me, he goes, we're gonna play, and I'm like, I will happily play. I already owe you at least a beer or a drink or something. I said, but here's my thing. I want to play with people who are not going to take this seriously, because apparently that's what's my 2 games were, test runs for this scoring format. And holy crap, people took it kind of seriously. I guess I did too, because I'm still like,
I mean, Baltic didn't take it seriously, but you did.
Well, because my assumption, and we've talked about this before, my assumption when I sit down at the table is everybody wants to try to win the game. So when the guy across from you starts throwing softballs, you're like, what are we here for exactly?
So then what is your definition of taking the game seriously? Because for me, if I'm not taking the game seriously, I'm not making optimal choices. I am not exerting energy, or doing the things I need to do to try and seriously win the game. So if I'm not taking it seriously, I might attack you for some reason other than I'm trying to win the game. So what is not being serious for you? Or is it just the fact that it was in a situation where you expected people to take it seriously and therefore you did and someone else didn't?
That's probably more what it is, I think. If we're there trying to play, as a tournament, my expectation is, you're going into the round. I have the game that still just sticks in my brain, right? I have 12 HP on my base. The man sitting across from me on the button. So I'm going to act last in this round. Okay.
Yeah.
He's got a 10 strength Corvus, and the guy on his left is gonna flip Palpatine this turn, and he's determined in his brain already, well, I'm gonna lose this thing, so I better use it first. So he just smashes it into my base. So now I have 2 HP left for Palpatine to go, and I'm dead. So it's like,
I know I've heard this argument before, but that is, to me, that's the definition of not taking it seriously.
Yes,
saying
I
it doesn't
agree.
matter if I
It's
win,
not
so
seriously.
I'm going to chuck Molotov cocktails at any which way.
Exactly.
But you said you wanted to play with people that don't take it seriously, but that's who you played it with, and that's what infuriated you.
Because I was led to believe that would not be the case.
Oh, okay.
It's different going in knowing that everybody's like, I'm going to sit down with a drink and let's just throw cards around. That's different, right?
Okay. All right.
I mean, when I make a Twin Suns deck, I'm literally thinking to myself, like, what are some weird cards I can play that have no use in Constructed, zero use, but how can they have use in Twin Suns? So, I mean, I guess I'm only lobbing Chaos Bombs, and I find it hilarious and super fun. And I've been able to set up some combos and play some cards that just like, I definitely don't win, but at the same time, watching the chaos play out in front of me is just as fun.
Good.
It'll be entertaining.
And enjoy your 4th place.
Usually third.
So, Ian, you just got back from Alaska. What was that like? Tell us about your trip.
Man, that is a very beautiful state.
Yeah,
I was mostly just in the Anchorage area and like 30 miles south in Girdwood, which is a ski town, I learned.
Okay.
That's basically the whole state, right?
No,
it's just it's a tiny little place. There's not much area to it. So I thought that was kind of the...
There isn't a lot of ski resorts from what I understand. I was a little early for the fishing. So I did get to go fly fishing and I did see some fish, but they were not interested in my fly at all.
They were not on the hook.
Yeah, they were not interested. I found this one. I was in this really pretty little, just a little creek. It was running pretty fast because all the ice was still melting or all the snow. And I saw this really pretty little brook trout, probably like a 10 to 12 inch brook trout, really good size. And I got a good cast in and I put the fly right where it needed to be. And the fish comes out, looks at it, and is like, meh, lets it float on by. And I was like, man, that sums up my day. But it was really beautiful. I had a great time at the wedding. It was a really beautiful wedding. They had it at this resort called Seven Glaciers, which on a clear day, you can see 7 glaciers from the bar.
Ooh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they had top shelf tequila that I didn't have to pay for. So the wife and I literally finished off a bottle of tequila. I dropped a drink on a red, mulberry. What was he drinking at the time? Mulberry margarita. I accidentally dropped it and it spilled all over some lady's white dress.
Oh
So I have a dry
no.
cleaning bill coming my way
Oh
that I paid. That was like,
no.
There should only be one person in a white dress at the wedding. So did you just mess
it
up
was
the
like
bride's dress?
no, it wasn't the bride. It was like a cream color. Like it was like an off.
Okay. So
And
I have a legitimate fishing question for you. Isn't
yeah, shoot.
My understanding is to have a good time fishing, you have to kind of accept that just catching fish is the bonus. Like, yeah, I caught a
Yes.
fish, but otherwise, you have to be okay just going out and the fact that you were outside and you were in this beautiful nature and just taking this all in, like that is success, and anything over that is just bonus. Is that right?
So 100%.
Okay.
My grandpa is one of those people who has the saying of the worst day of fishing is better than the best day of work. And he is not wrong. He used to tell me like how many other sports where you can drink at 6 o'clock in the like
He's not wrong.
he's not wrong. So yeah, I mean I didn't catch crap, but just to get out there and fly fish and have my river runs through it moments was just fantastic. And I loved every second of it.
You know, Trey, I'm 47, and your little story there has just helped me understand why I have never enjoyed fishing.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. When I was growing up, my grandfather would take us, was a fisherman, and he would take us fishing in the swamps of like southern Alabama and the Florida Panhandle, because that's where he grew up, right? So he's all, like bass fishing on a boat kind of thing. You go into the rivers and the little you're cat fishing or you're fishing for bass or whatever. And a few years before he died, we were going through his slide collection. My grandfather never printed pictures. Everything was a slide. Okay. So he had thousands, like 4,000 or 5,000 slides from his whole life and time in the Navy. And we found this picture, and it's me. I look like I'm about maybe 10 or 11 years old. And I'm in the bass boat with a fishing rod in one hand, and the other hand I'm like this. I just look, I look absolutely bored out of my mind. And when I saw this picture, I went, that's it. And my mother goes, what do you mean? I said, that is my opinion of fishing right there. That's exactly a picture. You don't need it. I can never describe it better than this picture right here. And I'm realizing it's because I sucked at it. I never caught hardly ever anything. And to me, it always felt like wasted time. Like if I'm going to go fishing or I'm going to go hunting, I want to come back having felt like I succeeded and my time was well invested, right? But I've never felt that way about fishing. So it's interesting. You're right. I think to enjoy it, you have to be prepared to come back empty-handed.
Yeah. Nothing. You have to be willing to get skunked and just enjoy the day. And I've been fishing my whole life. My dad was a huge fisherman. Like my sister is probably one of the best fisher ladies. She likes to be called fisher lady. When I was a kid, we would get we used to do a lot of fishing in Big Bear for trout, where we would troll. So you're just going up and down the lake, right? Dragging your lines behind you, hoping that you catch something. And my sister would be sitting there, Starbucks cup in one hand, fishing pole between her legs, boat handle in the other, and just cruise along like it's no big deal. And my mom would always be at the front of the boat reading some book or something, and my dad and I are tinkering with everything to try to catch fish, the depth and all this stuff. So
too funny.
I mean, I have so many great memories around fishing that it's just been such a big part of my life that I love it. Absolutely love it.
Nice. Now, Trey, you went to New Orleans, yes?
I did. So my daughter, I said this before, my daughter graduated from high school, and we took her on a trip to New Orleans. She'd been once, but she was much younger. She wasn't at the time that she went, she wasn't as set on how into, like right now, she's was in the band. She played in the jazz band in high school. She loves jazz music. For a while, she wanted a minor in jazz when she went off to college.
Nice.
So this was a next level trip for her. We went to New Orleans. We ate some good food. I mean, it's just kind of a basic New Orleans trip. If you've never been, you go to New Orleans. There are other ways to do New Orleans, but for us, a basic trip is you stay somewhere, usually an Airbnb, somewhere either in the French Quarter or around the French Quarter.
Within
This
walking
time we
distance.
yeah, it's all walking. You walk everywhere.
Walk or
And then
walk or
you
take
just
the trolley.
you kind of park, you throw your stuff in the Airbnb, you relax for a few minutes, and then you get out and you just start walking up and down the streets. And there's you go eat at Acme on the other side of the French Quarter, and you eat some shrimp po' boys or red beans and rice, or you have a good food, and then just kind of wander around. And that you listen, you walk down the street, and there's a bar next to you with live jazz playing, and you stand
Wander
there
in.
and you go like my daughter is 17, but at the time it's kind of like 6 o'clock at night in New Orleans, 6 o'clock in the evening in New Orleans, and nobody's really manning the bars. And my daughter, I'm 6'10", and my daughter is my daughter, so she looks like a grown up. People try to serve her alcohol, and she has to go, "No, I'm sorry, I'm only 17." And this is not in New Orleans, it's other places. So the two of us wander in and kind of park it and listen to jazz for a little while, and then they go, "Hey, we're going to break." So then you walk back out into the street, and then you're kind of standing there, and oh, look, there's a bar across the street with some other jazz in it. And you go in there and you listen. Or there's a shop here that sells some sort of, I don't know, what did she buy? Well, like we stopped and looked at trinkets and bought some fans.
You didn't go into a voodoo shop, did you?
So one of the things that we did.
There's a couple.
Oh my goodness, so they have, New Orleans has got a lot of superstitions. It's kind of where Anne Rice in the interview with the vampire, and like a lot of lore. I set up a vampire / ghosts and goblins tour of New Orleans for all four of us, and we went to it at night. And so when I think of ghosts and goblins, I don't find scary movies scary. They're not real. It doesn't get me in any way. But all right, whatever. They wanted to do it. So my wife was like, "Ooh, we should do this." And my wife kind of wanted to go on and this is how the vampires got here, and this is where the people say that this happened. So I asked my daughters what they wanted out of the thing, and they were like, "We want the truth." I'm like, okay. So I found one of my oldest daughters kind of gotten into vampire fiction recently, and so we want the truth. So I went, all right. So I went and signed up for the one that said we do the real story, which is just not sexy or exciting at all. So we would go, Marie Laveau. We stop outside this building that's got a sign on it for Marie Laveau had a building on this spot, and it burned to the ground. And then she starts telling us about Marie Laveau. Marie Laveau is kind of the most famous voodoo woman in the history of New Orleans. And it's not, this is where she did her potions and her magic, and it's Marie Laveau was a hairdresser who heard all the gossip about all the big people, big wigs in charge, and she knew how to use it to blackmail people. And that's how she got to be so powerful. Oh, and her husband disappeared mysteriously after 2 years. Yeah, this is what they told us. They were like, yeah, because then he turned up 5 years later in Baton Rouge with a new family because it was the 1800s, and you could go down the road 40 miles.
You could do that in the 1800s. That's right.
You could in the 1800s, you only had to go like 2 miles, bro.
Right. You'd be like, this isn't working out. I'm not going to bother with divorce. I'm just going to leave.
Yeah. And he was declared legally dead in New Orleans a year later. And no, he set up shop in Baton Rouge. And then we go to this other, one of the last stops on the tour was this convent. And this is where the vampires came from. And she tells us the story. Oh, the vampires supposedly lived upstairs, and the shutters are still nailed with silver nails. And what people said at the time was they saw in the middle of the night, they saw these pale women with this dark liquid coming out of their mouth, dragging these boxes and chains. And they went into the convent, and they were never seen again. And they thought that was blood. No. Those were women that were fresh off the boat who had scurvy, and your mouth bleeds when you have scurvy, and they had all their possessions in the boxes, and they looked different when they got treated, and they went back out in the street. Like, it is the most unsexy, exciting. There's no woo, ghosts and goblins.
I went on I did a ghost tour.
But my daughters loved it. Like, that was exactly what they wanted. So
that's crazy.
That's what I assumed they would have wanted.
That's great.
I did a ghost tour where they like just took you around and took you to like the haunted places, but all they talked about was all the people that were murdered in like the building. They're like, this building's had 15 murders, and you're like,
oh, that was another one. I mean, there's another story about a murderer, the axe murderer that was never caught, and he told us this whole story. And then this is actually kind of the birthplace of like why there's such partying in New Orleans. Is the axe murderer killed like 2 or 3 people, and then the a murderer sent this note to the paper. And the note was like, oh, I'm going to go kill somebody at this time, at midnight on this time, but I won't go after anybody that's playing live music. And like, so this is like all of the rich people threw their big parties. And that's, yeah, and it was somebody that worked at one of these bars that was trying to drum up business that sent this paper. But now there's all of this story around. There's like a hotel
That's
there
hilarious.
that's like, we found this guy's axe. So
that's hilarious.
But well, yeah, listening to them, that was really funny.
You guys have been having fun. I've just been trying to stay employed. So yeah, hasn't been very exciting. Yeah, it's going to be overrated. I'm going to have to take I'm not going to be around on weeknights for gaming for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the not too distant future, I'm going to have to shuffle off to Lake Charles for about 6 months, 6 to 7 months for a job out there during the week. I'll be back on weekends and that sort of thing. We haven't got the schedule hammered out just yet, but that's the nature of my gig. So we'll have to figure all of this out. I've got to invest in a better laptop. And we'll probably still be able to record this, and I'll be able to do some streaming of other things, but I don't know. It's gonna mess up my content creation schedule, but unfortunately, that's gonna have to take a backseat to keeping the mortgage paid. So yeah, we'll figure this out as we go.
Gotta pay them bills.
Yeah, something like that. All right, guys. Well, listen. Why don't we hang it up here? This is definitely the longest episode we've ever done, but we've got the time to kill this monk. It just means the next one will be a little more than an hour. This one's been an extra special bonus episode, I suppose. All right, great. We'll catch you guys later, and JTL is going to release quite literally in the next couple of days officially. So happy release day, and yes. Oh, thank you. Legends of the Force. My bad. I'm still, my brain is still seeing JTL colors on screen. And still thinking
it was a good set, but it not was worth a good re-release so soon.
It was a good set, though. It was a good set.
Very good set.
Awesome, guys. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Y'all take care until then.